So I'm currently in the middle of journaling, and I just wanted to share something because a lot of because I see you, tend to have this problem where we don't understand that we're not lazy when we get into these modes or seasons. We're probably just in a pull phase. So let me show you what that means. Okay, so have you ever noticed how some days you're driving everything, and then there are other days where you feel like you're just being pulled by ideas and feelings or even situations? Well, in my app IJ, we use two simple words to track that, and that's push and pull. And I'm just going to explain what that means. So, push is when you drive the action, meaning that you're the one in the driver's seat. You're the initiator. You're the one setting the pace. For example, like in a meeting, you're the one starting something new or finally, checking something off that task that you've been avoiding. You did the thing. That's push. And then pull is different. Pull is when something is calling your attention, right? You're drawn into like a conversation that keeps echoing in your mind, or an idea drops into your internal mind bank and just refuses to leave, even though you don't really have all the information or data to act on it yet. When you start noticing the difference between push and pull, you begin to see where your energy is really going, not just like what your calendar says. So think about a recent moment in your life and ask yourself, did you push to make it happen or were you pulled towards something? And that distinction is key. So in IJ, every time you log an entry, you mark it as push or pull. And over time, those little entries turn into like some sort of map, right? Your own inner navigation system. For example, in my life, in the month of June, it was entirely a pull month, right? I wasn't meant to be forcing outcomes. I was really meant to be listening all month long, right? I was in a really reflective mode. So paying attention to what kept landing, and I was allowing ideas to really settle before I started making any moves. So when I see an overarching pull force like that, I read it as a signal, right? It's more so, okay, now it's a time for me to sit back, think, and strategize. And when I see a lot of push energy, what that tells me is that I'm in execution season. It's time to act. That's what that means. And that reframing has really changed how I relate to those lazy or unmotivated periods, because now I don't call them lazy, right? I call them pull phases, right? Times when my job is to listen and not to force, right? I'm a creative, I'm a strategist, and my perspective I found is one of my biggest assets. So that means I need a lot of pull time, right? I need a lot of space for ideas to like truly and properly marinate before I start doing stuff. I need a lot of clarity time. So that's pulls me towards clarity, right? Before it's time to push and execute. And here's why I think this might also matter for you. Instead of treating an action as failure, you can treat it as data, right? Notice what kinds of things pull you so strongly that they sit in your mind and take up thinking space. And then what are the kinds of things that push you into initiative and action without having to tell you? You know what I'm saying? So we really document pushes and pulls and track the ideas that keep returning because they're trying to tell you something. If you track your actions, all the actions that you naturally take over time, the patterns really will show you, okay, this is what truly drives you, and this is what you're being called towards, and when it's time to listen versus when it's time to make a move. And that's what the IJ app really helps you do. It's meant to help you turn your everyday energy shifts into some sort of navigation system. That way, it's easier for you to align your decisions with like who you are, right? Without to, you just have to know what season you're in. So if you want to start reading your own push and pull patterns instead of fighting it, DM me IJ and I'll send you the link to download the app because it's free on the App Store. Well,